was that?
I'm not sure.
What's up, gang, and welcome back aboard the Paper Starship, where it's about keeping the Mediaverse connected. I'm your Starship pilot, Redux, and today we're doing something a bit different. I've done my best to only cover games, movies, and books I actually enjoy on this channel. But sometimes you experience a piece of media that's not only so bad, but so disappointing that you have to talk about it. And so today we're here to discuss the latest installment of the Alien franchise, Alien Romulus. I don't go see movies in the theaters often, guys, and I'm pretty selective about what I do see, so I was excited to go check out Alien Romulus after seeing it received an 83% on Rotten Tomatoes. But I was also cautious because I remember how infuriating and how much of a letdown Prometheus was back in 2012. If you never saw it, Prometheus was so bad that my dad, who never writes movie reviews, felt compelled to talk about what an idiotic dumpster fire it was. And you can check out his review, which I've linked in the description. Now, sadly, I was right to be cautious because Romulus commits a lot of the same sins of Prometheus. It's essentially a bad movie about stupid people in space doing increasingly stupid things. So I guess you could say this review is just me keeping up the family tradition. This will be a semi-spoiler filled rant, so if you plan to still see the film and want to go in blind, I suggest maybe skipping this video until afterward, when you can come and see if we both have the same reasons for this movie sucking. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and do those things the algorithm demands of us, guys, but let's get into the good of this movie because there's not much. So, it does take place in space, and I like space movies. So now that the good things are out of the way, let's get into everything else. First off, Ridley Scott didn't even bother wasting his time directing this one, and he's only the producer. Granted, that still pretty much means he had final say on a lot of things, but it's not the same as it being his directing vision. To be fair though, Prometheus sucked, and from what I heard, Alien Covenant was terrible as well, so it's not like the last couple directing efforts from him were mind-blowing works. It seems like even he lost his touch with this franchise prior to this entry. By the way, this film doesn't even connect to Covenant from what I looked up online. It has more ties to Alien 1 and Prometheus than any other movie, and even those tangential strands are flimsy and aren't really addressed, just sorta, here you go audience, here's a reference, now piece everything else together with your imagination. Personally, I'm unfamiliar with any of the actors in this movie, and as far as characters go, they're all interchangeable with standard horror alien movie characters. Strong-willed female space miner, caring and semi-capable male sidekick, droid who may or may not be evil, total asshole who you know will die early on, a couple throwaways, and a pregnant lady who's hiding her pregnancy at the beginning, so you know that's going somewhere. Nobody is memorable in this movie, and to be honest, they're all so dumb they actually become unlikable. Like, you don't care if these people make it out, you're just waiting to see what horrific ways the aliens can kill them. Yes, there's a chest burster, we have grabbers, xenomorphs, and a new monster that, oh my god, I will get to it later, but it's so bad.
Hey, who has questions about the setup?
Me.
All right, let's start with you.
What's being set up?
The entire movie.
Long story short, this is just a random band of people. They're not on a mission per se or assigned to this outpost. They're just random people trying to steal some cryo sleep pods so they can travel to another planet, and the outpost happens to be a Wayland ship that's housing a bunch of alien experiments inside. So basically, once they're on the ship, it plays out like a standard alien movie to a T. The asshole dies first, a random chick gets implanted by the grabbers who, to be honest, are more phallic than ever in this entry because they pull the grabber off her face and, The droid keeps fluctuating between evil genius and helpless fool throughout, which I have to give credit to David Johnson who played the droid because he was really the only one to display any range of emotion in this movie, much like Michael Fassbender in Prometheus. Basically, our female main character, played by Kaylee Spaney, who they are trying way too hard to make Ripley 2.0, and her droid are the only two remotely competent characters in this movie for No real discernible reason except plot armor. I'm not going to act like every action movie doesn't have some plot armor for its main character, but usually that main character is exceptional by comparison to others in the movie in some regard. But there's nothing remarkable or distinguishing about her character in the movie. Even her main motivation of, I want to go to this other planet, well, why? It's never really explained, or it's glossed over so quickly it didn't even register for me.
I did not get that.
Well, you haven't gotten anything the entire day.
Moving on though, the black goo from Prometheus is back. Yeah, remember that stuff? Ingested and bad stuff happens? So that's back, but we'll address that in a few minutes. So at this point, I think you can see that this is essentially a callback, retread movie, riding on the coattails of past successes of long ago and still trying to squeeze every last ounce of blood from that turnip. But it's not necessarily bad or dumb because it follows a formula. Following the formula is what makes it boring. But what makes it dumb is the decisions characters are making throughout. I won't go into full detail on scenes because it will just bog this video down, but there was a scene so dumb that most of the theater audience, including myself, started either talking to the screen at how stupid these characters were being, or just bursting out in laughter at something that wasn't supposed to be played for chuckles. It's a facepalm movie if I've ever seen one, where constantly, moment after moment, you're wondering how much longer can people this dumb survive in a space horror environment. Now, I don't want to keep you here all day, so let's get to this final monster nonsense I mentioned. So, the pregnant lady gets attacked earlier on, and she's not dead, but she's in bad shape. So bear in mind, guys, our characters already know that the black goo is like weird alien xenomorph extract, but they were also told it's to make people like more adept for life in space. I guess by making them xenomorphs?
Fuck, man, what?
Anyways, their brilliant solution is, hey, let's inject you with this alien goo. What could go wrong?
You don't know yet!
Of course she ends up giving birth to what looks like a giant alien egg that opens to reveal a baby that looks like if one of the Prometheus engineers was a baby, and you'd think, oh shit, perfect place to end on a cliffhanger, maybe for a follow-up sequel, even though this movie is absolute trash. But no, the baby crawls out of the egg and evolves in a matter of seconds, off-screen mind you, and once it starts trying to kill the last of our characters, the only way I can describe this monster is with this image I made. I'm not joking. The monster kind of looks like this, except if they were that Prometheus engineer color. Ah, there you go. But yeah, it looks like the top half of Bob sawed off and thrown onto a xenomorph body. Of course, it's an alien movie, so like for the third or fourth time in this franchise, the only way to kill the final alien is by having them be sucked out into the vacuum of space. Our main hero lady and her droid go into cryo sleep and ship off to whatever planet it was that they were going to. The end. There's not even an end credit scene for this one, which was like the final kick in the balls to sit through a credits of a bad movie for no reason. And so I sat there in the theater with the lights on and I couldn't help but think, who was this made for? I don't think fans of the franchise will be entertained by this recycled formula at all. And it's a movie that requires some previous knowledge, so it's not like a reboot effort to build a new fan base either. So like, why are these even being made still? Like, it feels like someone designed that god-awful new monster and said, you know, we clearly need to make a 2-hour movie to have this creature in it for the last 5 minutes. I mean, I guess money is why these are still being made. Like, that seems to be about it because they're creatively bankrupt at this point. James Cameron did show that a great alien movie not helmed by Ridley Scott can be made. But these efforts, and even Scott's himself, have been underwhelming at best since 1986's Aliens. Alien 3, Resurrection, all the AVP movies, and now Prometheus, Covenant, and Romulus are all objectively bad movies. They all have either some good set design or graphics, but as whole works, they're beyond disappointing for what fans had come to expect from those first 2 installments. The Alien franchise has become a victim of nostalgia and seems hell-bent on doing the same thing with a slightly glossier coat of paint over and over. If anything, I'm kind of hoping after Romulus, one of 2 things happens.
Gotta fix it scene by scene.
Let him and dead him.
Give him an accent.
And you add boobs.
If they want to stay obsessed with retreading old ideas, then they need to revisit the Space Marine angle and have some capable people taking on the aliens, which was the narrative that had the most legs. Either that, or the franchise needs to go into cryosleep, and drift endlessly into the void of space, never to be heard from again. Anyways, that was my experience with Alien Romulus, guys. It's a terrible movie I don't suggest wasting your time or money on to see. And I guess as someone who used to work at Hollywood Video and be the guy to tell you which movies sucked, I felt it was my civic duty to convey how bad this film was, because that 83% rating is going to sucker in a lot of people. I'm more shocked and disappointed that the movie has an audience score of 85. And maybe it's not just the movies that are getting worse, but our taste for quality is diminishing as well. On that depressing note, thanks for watching, guys. Your time, support, and feedback are always appreciated on the Paper Starship. If you've seen Alien Romulus, let me know in the comments what your take on the film is. And if you liked it, I'm really interested to hear that argument. But that's going to wrap things up, gang. Take it easy, stay steezy, and I will see you on the next.
Opinions are valuable to us.
And you're gonna get a lot of them. I'm already tearing this entire experience apart.
As am I. Me too.
Okay, so where's the dong?